Okay, what's up people? Did the wrong screen there for a second. But yeah guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome back. Like always guys, any pairs, any questions, any comments, any analysis you want to share, leave it down in the comment section. We'll discuss about it eventually. If you are new to the channel, feel free about subscribing. If you are liking what you see, drop a like, does really help out the channel as well. If you haven't joined out the Telegram channel, I got a link to that in the description below. I post my trades, watch list, videos that I do create there. So feel free to go and check that out if you want to. Also do have a Telegram group as well where you can talk amongst yourselves and I'll talk as well. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link there to IC Markets, which is the broker I'm currently using. So feel free to use it if you want to. But yeah guys, welcome back to another stream. Watch as always, welcome. And good morning, how are you doing? Yes, sir, what is up? Good afternoon. Elmi, good morning. I love how people saying good afternoon, good morning, different time zones, different places in the world. Azola, afternoon, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Elmi, Aiden's D, no problem. Yes, sir, USD CAD selling, we'll take a look. CHF JPY, Jack, what is up? Welcome back. Okay, so we'll start with AUDNSD. I'll take a look at USD CAD. So AUDNSD, I was looking at this one last week, didn't manage to get a position on this one, unfortunately. Price came pretty close to my area of interest, then reversed against me. Well, not against me, reversed in the direction I was expecting to go. Just didn't hit my area of confidence. I was looking for us to come back down here. It got about, kind of 3/4 of the way, and the market turned bullish. So yeah, looking fairly bullish right now. It's just cleared the highs. It's getting a little bit choppy now, so if you are looking to get involved with this one, there's obviously the clear break and retest of the high here. The market failed to get through it a few times, 1, 2, 3, then it finally broke through. So naturally speaking, 1.09800 is a decent place to go long. We can obviously see the trend is to the upside, consistent higher lows. The market has been printing here, so we'll be expecting to see it potentially another one form, and then the upside continuation. If, however, we break back inside the level, so the market comes back below, then I'll just take a pause on AUDNSD, because at that point, we've kind of got a range here between this level of support and that resistance, and this could potentially be a fake out of that high. So at that point, the market may want to do something like this and come back to the low of the range and maybe start to consolidate before it picks a direction to the upside or to the downside. But yeah, I'm still bullish on this one. We're still consistent with the higher lows here, as we can see, and also the higher highs. The market's still pushing to the upside. So we definitely do have a bullish trend on our midst here. It's running out of energy a little bit, but I do think maybe if you drop like the hourly or maybe a 30-minute can probably maximize your risk rewards on the retest of this level. If I drop to the hourly, probably get a nice little candlestick pattern formation around about here. Probably trade it back to the high there, maybe a 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3 if you use the 30-minute time frame, but maybe something like this, nothing too crazy, just back to where it came from, back to that high at 1.10300. Looks like a good opportunity there. So yeah, for this one, bullish bias, looking for more upside, consistent high low. So that's the direction we want to be trading in until that structure is broken. And like I said, if we do come back inside this range here, then I'll just leave that pair alone, because then we've got a fake out, market's back in the range. You know, in terms of direction, it's a little bit more 50-50. But above this level, we've got momentum on our side and we can look to follow that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for AUD and ZD. USD CAD, CHF, JPY, we'll take a look next. So yeah, USD CAD did see some downside. The dollar pairs did see some downside. Of course, we were discussing about DXY yesterday. We were talking about where DXY was trading. Although we've had a crazy bullish move on DXY, on dollar. You know, we were approaching a key level 103,500, and I also pointed out this trend line here as well. First test up there, second test with that high, and we're coming to that third test at 1, 2, and 3. So I said this is an area of confluence where we could see DXY react. We've had a pretty aggressive bullish move. You would expect to see at least some retracement. You know, there is the possibility DXY could actually head right back down again, because what we have right now is still a bearish trend. Although we've had a lot of bullish momentum over the past couple of days, we haven't actually broken any significant structure of the DXY. We have broken through some minor lower highs, which is, you know, these two highs over here, this one and this one, but we haven't broken through any major structure, aka that high over there. So we're still in this descending channel, we're still in this bearish trend, and coming into this area, as long as we didn't see an explosive breakout, the market was at least going to have some retracement. It may come back and retest this level to see if we can break through it again. It may come down a little bit deeper, maybe to this area here, and then try something. That's up to the DXY. But yeah, DXY coming to that level, and obviously we had some news yesterday, which obviously kind of caused that reaction a little bit. Kind of the news is kind of lining up with the technicals a little bit, coming to resistance. Then we see a reaction based on that resistance. So pairs like USD CAD, we've seen some downside. USD CHF, we've seen some downside. Gold, a little bit of upside. Euro USD, some upside, and they're all coming to areas of confluence. You know, USD CHF, you know, pretty much the same thing as the DXY as well. I'll get to USD CAD in a second. As you can see, USD CHF pretty much mirroring the DXY, coming to the trend line along with key resistance. You know, reaction into that level. We're discussing Euro USD as well yesterday. Whereas Euro USD, I was just on it. There we go. We were discussing Euro USD as well yesterday, coming into another key area. Again, it's basically the DXY but flipped. We've got that trend line coming in, and also a key level there. Market reacted slightly with this level. So we've been discussing this reaction yesterday. I did say I'm not too sure how far it would go. I've been pointing out this area for Euro USD where we could potentially come into and start to have a hard time breaking through and maybe roll over. You know, this trend could continue. It could start to collapse because this is a very aggressive kind of push up, push down, which normally indicates the highs of trends, especially when we do have the higher time frame trend, which is still pretty much bearish as well. So yeah, I'm not too sure how far this move here could go. Maybe retest that area, maybe go higher, or it could just drop from where it is right now, which is why I wasn't really looking to trade Euro USD and the dollar pairs yesterday. But onto USD CAD. So yeah, USD CAD's having trouble breaking through this structure here. Again, people were asking me about looking to long USD CAD. It did look decent. You know, price was breaking through this level, but I said to you guys, I don't really take breakouts that have broken out of a level, but I've only broken out ever so slightly. But mainly because we have a high chance, not a high chance, but we have a higher chance of it being a fake out. I like my breakouts being, you know, long and exaggerated. You know, if we've got a level like so, the market's holding on to it, and we see a breakout like this, you know, this could be a retest to go forward, or it could just be a fake out and the market comes right back down. But if we have resistance like this and we see a huge breakout like that, then the market comes back onto this level, we have a much higher chance that this is actually going to continue rather than, you know, be a fake out. These quite prone to fake outs, these less prone. So those are normally the breakouts I look to take. And yeah, we never broke through structure as well, which is the second thing. We never broke through structure as well, which is this lower high here. You can see we've got the wick going through the market like that. We did spike through it a little bit, but we haven't seen a candle closure above. So that was kind of like the second reason why I didn't want to buy USD CAD. And now we're kind of just doing some messy kind of price action here. The market kind of is still in this corrective bearish move here. So I do think USD CAD can have a push higher, but it does need to clear this structure. So I'm looking for USD CAD to do something like this, break through that structure, give us the pullback, and then I'll look to ride it to the upside like so. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for USD CAD. Right now, it's back underneath this structure, so it could potentially sell off again like that if it wants to. I am keeping in mind this high time frame trend line here as well, which is kind of like the overall direction of the market. As we can see, 1, 2, potentially 3 as well. So I'm not so keen on selling USD CAD because of the trend line there and because of how corrective the market is. I'd rather try and anticipate that reversal if we can see that break of structure to the upside. So pullbacks onto this area here do look pretty good, and I'll look to long, but I do want to see these highs on the left be taken out first. Ooh, there we go. I want to see these highs on the left be taken out first, and when I see a strong push, a strong candlestick closure breaking through those highs, then I'll look for the pullback to go long. But at the moment, the bears are still in control, so if you are looking to trade USD CAD, another retest of this level could provide some nice shorts. If you reject it again with nice candlestick entry around 1.34163, and then logically you probably look to sell it back down to those lows there based on what you're kind of looking for your targets. But yeah, USD CAD shorts look good at that level. If you do break through, then I'll be looking for the longs, but we've got a lot of development before that happens there for USD CAD. CHF JPY will take a look as well. Arla, what is up? Good morning. Good morning. Ojo, what is up? Which country are you? Which country am I from, or which country am I in? Well, I'm in the UK right now, but my parents from Nigeria and Zambia. But yeah, I've been born and grew up in the UK. Lucia, what's up? Good morning. May you check gold and pound CHF? No problem. We'll take a look. Rabdi, as always, good morning. Missed the stream yesterday. Hope you're well. I'm doing good. No worries, my man. Hope you're doing good as well. Any pairs you're looking at? Low-key extrovert, gold buys. Okay, we'll take a look at gold. US 30, USD. Okay, we'll take a look as well. So first we'll go for CHF JPY, and then we'll go into pound CHF, and I'll take a look at some of the dollar pairs, including gold as well. Okay, so where is CHF JPY? There we are. Okay, so CHF JPY. This one's interesting. We've had some really nice bearish structure. I've sold it a few times, but now we're getting very, very corrective. So I've been reluctant to look to get back into this one. I've been a big fan of the momentum over the past kind of month or so. Really strong moves to the downside. Something that as a structural trend trader, momentum is pretty much my best friend. So if I see structure like that, I'm always going to look to try and trade it. However, ever since my last trade, which was back here, be quite corrective, so not really a fan of that. And now we're starting to break through some highs there to the upside as well. We haven't really broken through key structure yet, aka this high here on the left. That's still intact, so potentially we could still sell off, but it's just not as high probability anymore because of how corrective we've been here. You would expect the market to have sold off by now. So yeah, with CHF JPY, we're starting to snap resistance and starting to hold it as support, as we can see here. So resistance now turns support. I'm not really seeing a high probability buy right now, at least on the 4H time frame. Maybe in the lower or higher time frames there might be something, but I don't want to sell it because it's too corrective and now starting to flip resistance and support. I don't want to buy it because we haven't actually broken through any significant structure just yet. We could still potentially sell off, even though it's very, very choppy. So I'm not really seeing a very high probability opportunity unless it does take out this high here on the left. If it does that, then okay, I'll be more than happy to take some longs and probably trade it back to some of those areas. But right now, it's still a little bit premature for the longs. Sure, you can take the break and retest. It's just not as high probability as I'd like it to be for me to enter a trade or to consider entering it. But yeah, the break and retest is not bad, 142. Obviously, we do have a slight bullish trend on our mitts here right now. If you just focus on this structure here, we've obviously broken through that resistance, turned support. Maybe a double bottom could provide a nice push to the upside back to resistance. But like I said, it's not as high probability because it doesn't have as much confluence in this area as I would like it to have. So yeah, with CHF JPY, if it was me personally looking at this one, I'll just kind of disregard it for now and wait for some more price action, more development until I can make a a better, more informed decision about direction and just overall entries and looking for an area of confluence. But yeah, right now it looks like it could be going to go bullish, but it hasn't snapped for any significant structure yet. So it'll be a little bit too early for me to say that it is looking to go bullish right now. So if you are keen to trade it, 142 is a decent area. If you can retest that again, maybe a nice Audi candlestick pattern if you come back in again. But yeah, nothing quite there for me just yet. Pound CHF, and I'll move on to gold, Euro USD, US 30 as well. Okay, so pound Swiss. Okay, so pound CHF, we're back at support. Last time I looked at this one, yeah, back at support. We are taking out this low here, so now we've got some incentive that the bears are starting to take control, because obviously high time frames, the market is pretty bearish still, as we can see. But of recent times, we have been creating some higher lows and some lower highs. So we've kind of been getting a little bit corrective, almost consolidation like, as you can see the higher lows here, lovely lower highs. But now we've just gone and taken out this low. So I will be expecting to see more downside now for CHFG, not CHFG, but pound CHF from a longer term perspective. From a lower time frame, full H, Audi, you know, we would be probably be expecting to see some pullback shortly. You know, even though we have broken through some structure there, I don't want to sell that just now. If we were to push to the upside, have a decent pullback, then sure, you know, looking to sell it, maybe coming back to something like this area here. Strong resistance there with those wicks as support as well, around 1.125. That would be a nice little area to look to sell from. Potentially the next little high could form. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then potentially start bleeding to the downside and just see the higher time frame trend continue. So something around that could be a nice long-term, you know, swing trade, short opportunity up there. But obviously coming into this level, you would expect to see some retracement sooner or later. We are quite corrective. And the fact that we've taken liquidity below that, you would expect to see a pop to the upside. So yeah, with pound CHF, it's a decent place for buys. It's a decent place for buys. It's quite corrective. So it's not the cleanest setup in the world, but I would expect to see some upside from pound CHF. And then the sells, which is probably where the most confluence is, and probably the better trade overall, back at 1.126, 1.125. You know, this is a really nice area to start looking for some sells for, you know, basically a push back down to the support and maybe even further as well. So yeah, pound Swiss does look good for some sells and some buys as well. So keep an eye out for that one. Okay, so we'll go into some dollar pairs, gold, US 30. Take a look at Euro USD as well. So gold, what we're having for gold, a little bit of upside. It's getting quite corrective, which is a good sign, because it means that we could, if we keep up this momentum, come back to some of these areas, which is the areas that we want price to come anyway, to short it down. Because I did say yesterday I wasn't too sure about gold if it was actually going to come back to these areas, because we were kind of consolidating a little bit and there was a chance that we could just break to the downside if this momentum wanted to continue. You know, certainly if the news went the other way yesterday, you know, we could be looking at gold trading back down at these prices here. But the market kind of just consolidated, and now it's started to break through some highs and also produce some higher lows here. So we've got this kind of corrective movement, and hopefully that can continue a little bit higher, you know, back up to some of these areas, 1900, 1910. You know, these areas look pretty good to short from gold. And yeah, and look for more downside. We've also got the break of structure. Market had a big push to the upside, taking out highs here, and then we had the absolute dump to the downside. So we're just looking for price to kind of correct itself. We have some nice fib confluence in that area there. Well, certainly with that level anyway, 0.5, 0.618, it's not too far away. Now we're expecting the market to sell off as well. So gold for me, there's nothing quite yet. It's kind of trading in the middle of nowhere. But once I start coming up to these areas, I'll start considering looking to short gold. Again, it's pretty much the same thing with silver as well, which I do prefer over to gold. It looks like silver could be seeing some upside as well. So if silver starts coming back up to some of these areas here, I'll be more than happy to look to short silver as well. They're pretty much the same kind of trade really. So I won't be looking to short silver and gold, just pick which one looks the better. At the moment, I do prefer silver. But yeah, gold could give some good setups up there as well. So yeah, looking for some more upside for gold, back to 1900 at least. 1900, 1910 as well. Start looking for some shorts on the hourly. And yeah, probably just a trade right back down to where it came from, which is this low here now. So yeah, this is looking like a good setup. Hopefully we can see a bit more upside. And gold didn't just decide to sell off randomly. I'd imagine people are also looking at some sells for gold, or maybe some people in some buys trying to buy it up into those levels first and then set it back down. Okay, so I'll move on to US 30. So US 30, this one was a little bit hectic yesterday, big push to the upside. We are still seeing these consistent high lows here, so I was looking to see if we can get a push back down to that key level and then the bigger move. However, the market's kind of still in this kind of very, very choppy ascending, channel there. Don't even know if you can even call it that. It's more consolidation. But yeah, US 30 for me is still very, very choppy here. It's just kind of a big mess, really. I've been saying for a while now, the other indices, S&P, US 100, just look a lot cleaner to trade. US 30 is a quite a messy one, but it looks like we may start breaking through some highs now. Like I said, if we take out this high here on the left, that'll tell us, okay, US 30 probably has got a lot more upside to it, with these high lows, now that we've broken through significant structure. Thank you so much, Judith, for subscribing. So yeah, now that we've broken through significant structure, we can look to follow that trend a lot further. But right now we're approaching resistance. US 30 could potentially sell off. So this is definitely not a place that you want to buy. I did point out yesterday, this would be a nice place to buy from, back down at this level here, connect the higher lows, around 33,400. This would be a very, very nice place to buy. Up here is not a good place to buy, and it's actually a much better place to actually sell. So yeah, US 30 in terms of bias and everything, it's not quite clear yet. It's still very, very corrective. It looks like price may look to break to the upside, but we're still struggling at this resistance. So there might be some short-term sells there. I wouldn't push it too far. I think the best setup right now for US 30 is if we can get a drive back down to these areas, 33,400. That looks like a really nice place to buy, because we take out this liquidity here on the left, and then we come into a much stronger area, and then probably would get a reaction to the upside. So yeah, 33,400 would be a nice little level to look at. Whether we get there or not, I have no idea. That's up to US 30. We could just have a small reaction and a breakout, or maybe just a breakout. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for US 30. Not the cleanest pair in the world, I have to be honest. Okay, so we'll take a look at Euro USD. So Euro USD, we did see a slight reaction yesterday, as we can see here, coming into this level of resistance. Again, we had the lovely trendline confluence here. If you guys haven't seen my weekly analysis for the week, go and check it out. We've been talking about quite a few setups this week. Euro USD is obviously one of them, and we're speaking about potentially a reaction down here. Again, I'm not too sure how far this can go. I'm not expecting to see a huge move from Euro USD from this area. A reaction, yes, but we may do something like this and start following the higher time frame. So obviously we still got to break this through this area first. But yeah, Euro USD sales look good at 1.08 to 230. If we come back down again and start rejecting it, I think there could actually be some nice buys, because we haven't really gone anywhere yet. We've just seen a 4H bullish candle, really. So we haven't really done too much at this area, but obviously price is starting to struggle. So if we come back down and start rejecting again, could be some nice buys later on, and then maybe some sells later on after that as well. So yeah, Euro USD in terms of buys, I have to say bullish for now, because we're still holding this structure. Until it breaks, then I'll convert to bears, and same thing with DXY right now. I still kind of am bearish on the DXY with that kind of area we're trading in right now. But if the DXY starts breaking through this, then okay, I'll look to switch that bias and probably follow that move to the upside. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet. So Euro USD still favor a pullback at least for this one. And then yeah, that could be an area to start considering some sales later on in the week, maybe towards the end, Thursday, Friday, depending if we get there or not. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Euro USD. Let me know what you guys are looking at as well. I thought you were from Rwanda. No, I just went there on vacation. I am not from Rwanda. I said at the start of the video, I said I'm not from Rwanda, I'm here visiting. AFC was up, morning. Arsenal for the league, now Man United. So you getting relegated. I know, mate. If Arsenal win the league, I won't be happy, I can tell you that for free. I will not be happy at all. How have Arsenal gone from wanting Arteta to be sacked to winning the league? It's crazy. Crazy how things change. No problem, Rabdi. Happy to help. Take a look at Pound USD as well. CAD Yen. Vedatenek will take a look. Mag Anda, what's up? Please check DXY. Just gone over that one. If you haven't seen it, let me know. TokeFX, welcome back. Good morning. I hope everyone is well. I hope you're well too, my guy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Lucia, what's up? I mean, no problem. You already said that. No problem. AUSD, sure thing. The Kingdom Gal. Good morning. Good morning. Jezreel, what is up? Your USD, please. We'll take a look. Judith, what is up? AUSD for short. Okay, so let me go through some of these pairs before I get backed up again. Okay, so I'll do, what was it? CAD Yen. A few people have requested your USD. If you haven't seen it, because I literally just went through it right now. Yeah, just go back 30 seconds. Okay, so I'll go through CAD Yen and then I'll take a look at Pound USD as well. Okay, so CAD Yen. Yeah, CAD Yen's a little bit interesting. It's interesting. We haven't really taken out this high, which is what I was expecting price to do last week after this big move. We didn't take out the high there. So with CAD Yen, it looks like it's a pair trying to have a reversal. You can see we've had a really nice bearish trend. The lower lows and lower highs are starting to get a little bit more corrective, a bit more frequent as well, which is one of the key signs of a trend reversing. If you have a bearish trend like so, and then you see the market have more frequent pullbacks, this is a sign that the market's starting to exhaust, and also bigger pullbacks as well. Normally you do expect the market to eventually reverse to the upside, which is kind of what we have here. So I do expect, as price develops, probably will most likely start going north. I wouldn't say there's a key level to buy just yet. I mean, this is a good level, but we still do have this kind of trend line in our midst here, which is kind of keeping price bearish. Like I said, we still haven't broken through major structure yet, so it's not the clearest buy in the world. If we were to start breaking through these highs here as well, then yeah, I would favor that buy next. But now that we're coming back underneath this area, we could actually see price actually react bearish and see some more downside as well. So with CAD Yen, it's kind of the exact same thing as what I said with CHF JPY. As in these pairs here, I'm kind of just waiting for more information, basically more candles, before I kind of pick a direction and start looking for entries essentially, because I can think of good reasons why we could sell it, and I can also think of good reasons why we could buy it as well. So if I'm torn like that, then I'm not going to do either. So yeah, with CAD Yen, if you start taking out this high here at 98,750 more or less, 800, then the buys will look a lot better, and obviously take out that high there too. But right now we're coming back under structure. We could actually sell off maybe if the market can hold this level, kind of dancing around that resistance as well. So I would have to favor sells at this area, but it's just not the cleanest sell in the world. So yeah, CAD Yen, CHF JPY kind of doing the same thing. They're both kind of still in that bearish structure, but they're all very, very choppy. So it's not really the clearest sell anymore. So I'm just kind of waiting for more information before I do anything first. But if you're looking for a trade, then on that resistance, there could be a nice move back down again. This is the fake out, of that resistance there. That does make sense. But I think there are better opportunities elsewhere. Okay, so Pound USD, I'll get to that one next. So yeah, Pound USD, AUSD as well. Excuse me. AUSD is good for short. We'll take a look, no problem. USD JPY Dodger, we'll take a look. Is AUD good for a sell? Last time I looked at AUD, I was looking for buys that one, so I'll quickly go over it again. But yeah, I would not be advocating sells on that one. What do you think about Man City financial issues, Miko? What are Man City's financial issues? Are they in some financial crisis? I have no idea. I haven't read anything about that. I mean, Man City would be the last club I would expect to be in some financial issues. But yeah, I haven't read anything about that. Fill me in. Got sales on CAD Yen. So yeah, CAD Yen could potentially sell off because it's back below that resistance, as well for the trend line as well. So you're definitely, if your stop loss is around there, you definitely got a moderately based, secure stop loss there. Because if the market was obviously to run through that, you would expect the market to probably go bullish and then so yeah, that does make sense, but I don't like it because it's quite corrective. Like I said, I can see better opportunities elsewhere in the market. But yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense. Just yeah, it's not a trade that I'm too confident about. Hence why I'm not really looking at it much. But if you got a stop loss above there, and the market can hold into that level, should see price roll over. But yeah, we will see it as things continue. Okay, so I'll quickly go over pound USD, another little dollar pair. So pound USD, we did see some upside yesterday. Obviously, off the back of the news, or the dollar pairs did see some upside with DXY heading down. We've been talking about pound USD coming back down to this area over here, not back down, back up, sorry, to that area over there at 1.22. Also, this area is a good level of confluence. I highly doubt we'll probably get there. But 1.22 is certainly a level that I have my eye on for pounds. Come into that area, had some huge momentum. Expecting to see more downside from us. The fact that we even failed to continue past those highs there as well does tell me that, okay, pound USD could be forming a huge double top pattern, maybe looking to continue the bearish trend on the higher time frames as well. So yeah, there's a lot of confluence for the downside in pounds, but I want to see a bit more upside first before I start considering actually placing any shorts. And 1.22 is the area that I'm looking to do that from. So yeah, just need to wait for some pullbacks for this one. It's a little bit corrective in these prices, which is a good sign for us because it means that price is more likely to come up than suddenly just collapse. So you can probably get some entries for pounds if you keep coming higher. And target wise, probably just back down to the prior low here. If you come up again, target wise back down to that low, or maybe even this low here. If you're feeling a little bit more braver, a little bit more brave. Don't think braver is a word. Is it braver or brave? Not sure. So yeah, back down to one of those two areas there for pounds. So keep an eye on 1.22. I think we could get a move up there. And that's basically a recurring theme of all these dollar pairs. I want to see some more upside to basically short it back down again. With gold and silver as well. Want to see some nice pullbacks to some of those areas to short, and hopefully see some more downside too. So hopefully that made sense. AUSD, I'll move on to that one next as well. People are talking about shorts. USD JPY, we'll take a look. AUSD as well. AUSD and AUSD good for short. We'll take a look. Tokyo FX, good stuff, man. And yes, all's well. Thank you. Good to hear. I've currently got a broken foot, but apart from that, wow, how have you managed to break your foot? That is crazy. Hope your foot is doing okay. Damn, got a broken foot. Hopefully get a speedy recovery, so you can continue to walk your dog. But yeah, how do you manage that? Have I got an opinion on USDJPY? I haven't actually looked at that yet. I will take a look. HPR, what's up? USDJPY gone long. My entry 131. Okay, a few people have been talking about USDJPY. So I'll go through AUSD and AUSD quickly, and then I'll go into USDJPY. Okay, so where's AUSD? Okay, so AUSD over there. So yeah, AUSD seen some nice upside. This one had kind of two kind of boosts, if you will. We had kind of the Aussie news on Tuesday morning, well, Tuesday night, it's early morning. And then we obviously had the dollar news, so we kind of had two kind of pushes to the upside. So that's why AUSD's kind of retraced a lot further than some other dollar pairs. But yeah, we're coming into a nice area where shorts do look good. Shorts do look good coming to this 0.7 area. So I do favor shorts from here for AUSD. We've had a really nice double top pattern here, 1 and 2. Broken through some structure here because this move here gave us our new highs. Then we've had a lovely shift in momentum there to the downside, respecting this level of support and resistance here. So I do think if we can start to reject this level here, that AUSD most likely will just roll back over again. You know, this move is quite corrective compared to this strong impulsive move there. So I do favor more downside for AU. I think if you can come a little bit deeper, maybe have one more push to the upside, nice little spike, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that kind of 3 drive pattern there. And then nice little entry candle at 0.7. Stops above the level, of course, or above the entry candle. And then targets, keep it simple, back down to the prior low there. Could go further. You know, I've been screaming about AUSD having a big reversal back down to these lows, but you know, we'll get there in time if the analysis plays out, of course. So you know, we'll take 2, 3, 4 trades on the way down. Don't need to just take one and hope for the best. So yeah, AUSD is looking good for some shorts. 0.7 is looking like a good little level. Retest that structure there, and yeah, push back down to low. So AUSD does look like good shorts. I do agree. I do agree. AUSD, however, not so much. Not so much with this one. I'm looking at the break and retest there to the upside rather than some sells. It isn't really coming to. Okay, so I suppose it is coming to this area here. It's a very kind of old level of support resistance, so it's not necessarily a level that I would consider shorting from. So yeah, it can see some retracement, but it's not a trade that I would look to take in terms of probability. Sure, it could come down. So obviously experiencing some nice wicks there to the upsides, testing it, you know, a pretty strong zone. We've broken through resistance there. We're seeing some new highs. You would expect to see some retracement, but it's just not strong enough for me to deem a trade or anything that meets my criteria anyway. So yeah, I would expect retracement. I never really look to sell a bullish market or buy a bearish market, so it's not a trade that I would ever really advocate. So yeah, I'd rather be looking for the buys there and rather, you know, take that trade. If that trade fails, then okay, we're back in the range there. Then rather take a trade here for stop loss there and just potentially get taken out as the market continues higher. So yeah, I'd rather look for the buys on the retest of this level, and yeah, push back to highs. Just keep it simple. So that's the kind of setup I would look at for AUSD. But yeah, the sell's just a little bit too aggressive for me. I know we're coming to resistance. I know we've seen some nice wicks down the 4H. So we are seeing a price starting to stall, but it just doesn't quite do it for me because the market is still bullish. So I don't really want to be looking to sell that. Anyway, onto USD/JPY, which is over here. Okay, so yeah, USD/JPY back at an area of really nice confluence. So we had this lovely bearish trend here, which the market has finally snapped out of, which we've been looking at for quite some time now. We had one high over there, second, third, fourth, you know, potentially a little fifth there, or came close into the trend line, and then we actually broke through with a lot of momentum. So yeah, USD/JPY longs do look decent. They do look decent. Retesting this level here, stop loss below. I do think this does look good. We've got the first low there, second higher low, could be seen a third. Probably got 0.5, 50% of the fib confluence there, just about tagged into the level over there on the left. So yeah, it does look like a good setup. It does look like a good setup. You know, if you can see a nice shift in momentum here, that would be a nice little entry candle there. Stop loss below the level. And little buys there to the upside. So I do like USD/JPY. It's got good confluence. It looks like we could be getting reversal here. It's a bit more of a counter trend move than a trend move because there is no kind of real bullish trend yet. But we do have some strong confluence signifying that yeah, we could actually be looking to reverse. So I do like this USD/JPY trade idea and the retest of that structure. Obviously stop loss below the level. You know, most logical targets back to the prior high. Excuse me. And also back to that resistance there, we've kind of got the minus 0.27 extension coming into that area there too. So yeah, USDJPY does look good for buys. I'd imagine a few people are looking at buying USDJPY as well. HPR, would you say your entry was? Gone along my entry 131, 102. 131, 102. So that's back over here-ish. Okay, so on the full H candle, okay, so it makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's a good entry. I was assuming stop losses below there somewhere around here-ish. So yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Obviously testing a key level, we've had the break of the trend line. It makes a lot of sense there. So I do like that. I do like that trade idea. It looks like the market's coming back to retest it for a double bottom. So hopefully you can see another reaction. Maybe will be some better entries down the hourly time frame just to maximize that risk to reward. But yeah, it does make sense. It does look good. As long as your stop loss is below there, you know, you should be fine. If the market does take you out, then maybe the market is actually going bearish anyway. So yeah, I do like this one. I do like this one a lot. So yeah, AUD, like I said, I would only look to buy. There's no sell there for me. Still, the structure's still bullish. You know, that's the best opportunity I can see for now for AUD. Anything else is a little bit too risky. Okay. Euro pound, I'll take a look at. AUSD will go over as well. Man City have broken 100 Premier League accounting rules. I'm going to get the book thrown at them. Wow, I had no idea. Wow. I mean, yeah, to be fair, with the amount of money they spent, to be fair, Chelsea could be doing that as well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I don't know how Chelsea has spent so much. Like, surely there's got to be some type of rule broken. But, yeah, I mean, Man City, yeah, that's something they would do, wouldn't it? But I'm pretty sure they can handle it. Whatever's going to happen to them, I'm pretty sure they can handle it. It's definitely going to chuck some more money at something, and something will happen. But damn. Wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea's up next for that. Okay, so I'll take a look at... Have I missed out a pair? I don't think so. If I have, just let me know in the comments down again. I'll take another look. But I'll move on to Euro Pound. And I'll go over AUSD again quickly. USDJPY about to send it. Are you talking about USDJPY longs? They do look decent. I think a couple of people already in the trade for that one. They do look good. Me personally, I'd like to see some momentum come back here on this double bottom though, for an hourly entry. But in terms of the direction, what I'm expecting to happen, a retest of 130, 500 looks good, and a push to 132, 850, which is the high there. Maybe even that level up there as well looks decent as well. You know, got a lot of confluence up there too. But yeah, USDJPY looks good for buys. I think this is the only JPY pair that I would actually favor buys from. The rest of the JPY pairs are kind of doing a weird thing. Like, I don't know what AJPY is doing. This one has broken out of this, you know, huge bearish move here. It's potentially just correcting itself for another push because we had a huge impulse here. This looks like it's just the correction for that move to the upside. So I do favor AJPY to push bullish. But right now it's kind of in this corrective phase here, so I wouldn't want to just stick a buy onto that. But I do favor it to push up, but I'm not really seeing a good buy opportunity to get involved. NSJPY, I have no idea what that pair is doing. It's sort of doing the same as ADJPY, but this one's more consolidation, if anything. So I'm just leaving that one alone and staying away from it. Euro Yen. That one's a little bit messy too. We had quite a big drop yesterday. Now this one kind of is in a big range as well. So yeah, the yen pairs have gone from looking very, very clean last month to now looking a little bit ugly. USDJPY is the only one that actually can get some sense into. The rest of them, I think I need some more price action before I start making some calls or anything, or looking for any trades. Okay, I'll go for Euro Pound, AUD, Pound Yen. We'll take a look as well. Just bought a Wi-Fi. Congrats to me for effective trading. Nice, buying a Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi. What you bought internet? I'm not too sure what you bought there, but well done. Gold, we'll take a look. Can you show us how you do your fundamental analysis or make a video about it, please, when you have time? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I do make a video on it, it will be a very short video because there's very minimal fundamental analysis for myself. Again, I'm a very technical based trader. I'm looking at applying my edge to the market. So the only fundamentals I'm doing really is just looking at the high impact news and just understanding when's the best time to trade particular currencies. If there's AUD news coming out, or say dollar, a bit more of a better example, say there's dollar news coming out in a couple of hours, I'm not going to look to get into any dollar pairs. If I was already in yesterday, then that's cool, I'll sit through the trade. But if there's a dollar pair, high impact news, something happening, interest rates or NFP or something like that, I won't be looking to enter the trade. And that's pretty much it for my fundamental analysis. I'm not looking at, okay, this country is about to raise their interest rates, I'm going to expect strength there, so I'm going to look to see if I can find any AUD buy opportunities, or I'm expecting this, country to do a lot better than this country in terms of the economy. So I'm expecting their currency to do this and that. So I don't do any of that. That's not part of my trading. Some people do like trading Nick, for example. Him and his team look a lot at the fundamentals. So if you want to learn about fundamentals, they're definitely a much better channel to go and check out for that aspect. But for fundamentals, it's just looking at any high impact news and knowing when I should enter, just to be safe, so I don't just jump into some news and get wicked out in a couple of hours. Okay, so Euro Pound before I just go on. So yeah, Euro Pound's actually looking pretty good. Euro Pound's actually looking pretty good. I was looking at Euro Pound coming into the week. I wasn't too sure if I'll get the pullback, but it looks like ever so slowly the market's coming back down to some of the areas. It's retesting this area here, which is the first area of interest for myself. But I said yesterday, I'm kind of really just focusing on this level here. We could get a move from this level to the upside, but I'm more focused on this level. This is where I've got most of my confluence at for Euro Pound. We've had beautiful structure here. It looks like we're finally getting a breakout. If I go in the daily time frame, we had this very, very nasty range over here. Now it looks like the market's picking direction and we're actually getting some higher highs and some higher lows, which is what I want to see. So all I'm looking for is the next higher low for a move to the upside and some new highs. So Euro Pound, pretty simple analysis, simple structure. I'm just looking for a pullback. This is an area where we could snap bullish, but this is only kind of the area that I want to buy from. Got some nice confluence there, the trend line, the key level, and also 0.618 of that fib there too. So I'm hoping we can see a bit more downside for Euro Pound, come into this area and down here as well, start looking for my entries. And yeah, just looking for another swing back to highs. Probably, maybe I might exit a little bit earlier. I can get a 1 to 3 and it's looking good somewhere. I'll probably just exit the trade earlier. If not, I'll just target back to those highs and keep it simple for Euro Pound. So yeah, Euro Pound, I love the structure. This is a very strong impulse move there to the upside, really breaking through this high and this high. So it is definitely a meaningful move in the market. Now we're just looking for a healthy correction to follow that momentum back up again. And 0.88500 is where I want to look for my entries. So we could react here, but I'm not looking for entries there because I don't have enough confluence. So I'm looking for a little bit more downside for Euro Pound. And then yeah, looking to buy that back up again. AUD, like I said briefly, looking at shorts for this one, 0.7. I would say if you get one more stab to the upside and kind of get this kind of channel there and then a really nice sell off there, maybe a bearish engulfing at that level. Then yeah, seeing some more downside back down to lows at 0.685, which is basically that price swing low. So yeah, AUD shorts look good, lovely bullish structure, which is now being broken, giving us this lovely double top there, retesting that neckline, expecting to see the market sell off there. So AUSD, keep an eye on 0.7. Wait for some confirmations up and around that level. And yeah, looking for another pushback down to the lows and maybe even further as well. I do think from a weekly standpoint, we could be seeing a lot more downside for AUSD. If you do zoom out here, you can see first test over there, second test over here, third test, lovely bearish engulfing there as well. And obviously retesting a very key level of support and resistance on the weekly as well. So I do think that we could be seeing a continuation of this bearish trend and potentially price coming back down to those levels there. So I think there could be a lot of downside for AUSD. So yeah, this could be the start of a really nice bearish trend. Okay, so pound yen, we'll take a look as well. Johnny wrote, Miko explain. Okay, so I think that's for use JPY. So Vex, right, let's all laugh about it. So basically the car needed a MOT, and while I was waiting for the car to be done, me and my missus went to trampoline park. No way. I went to the trampoline park. That's quite interesting. Some people just go for a walk or, you know, go for a coffee somewhere, but you go trampoline park. Almost deserve it. Almost deserve it, Toka. Almost deserve it. I'm joking. Wow, what a way to break your foot. I'm short on AUSD. Yeah, it's not bad. I would wait for price to push a little bit higher. I mean, I like the structure, like the trend. I like what's happening here with AU and the confidence about it. But I would like price to just move a little bit higher into 0.7, and then wait for an hourly candlestick pattern there. It could potentially sell off, but I would like price to go a little bit deep into that level first. So yeah, I do like the opportunity, but yeah, for me, I'd wait for a little move higher first. I said for a coffee next year, the lesson as well. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you got to learn the hard way. Just made 12% on my trading account, trading gold. I took a short at 1884 and hit TP at order block 1880, 500. I've been trying a new strategy and so far so good. Nice, Blaze, nice. What is it, like a smart money concept strategy, or I'm guessing, but yeah, 1880, 500, took a short 1884. 1884, so around these parts here. Okay, so that's right on the low time frames, like 5 minute maybe or something like that. 5 minute, 15 minute. Anyway, nice trade. 12%. That's a hefty amount. Euro AUD, we'll take a look as well. Someone did request gold, so yeah, I'll go for gold first, and I'll take a look at Euro AUD 2. Do you mind moving your camera a little bit lower so I can see the currency pairs? Yeah, the currency is right there, like on the screen. Gold 4H, gold spot, US dollar. I'll make it lighter. But yeah, I've got the watermark there, which pretty much says which currency it is. Do you look at NAS? I haven't looked at NAS yet. The bulls controlled yesterday. Looks like the bulls are going to continue to dominate today. Yeah, I am bullish on NAS. Yeah, NAS and the S&P look pretty good for buys. US 30 looks a little bit trash right now, but those two markets look lovely to trade for some buys. I'll go over them in a second. USD CAD, Jace, we'll take a look, no problem. Gold, DXY, US 100, okay, through the indices, we'll take a look as well. SJ Limited, thank you, Miko, no problem, happy to help. Yeah, thanks, Toka. How do we know the trades you're taking? Do you post them? Yeah, I share them in my Telegram group. How do you know? You said it twice. Yeah, so I post them in my Telegram group. If you want to follow that, feel free to check it out. Links in the description to that. But yeah, for gold, I'm looking at some more downside, 1900. I'm looking at a test of 1900, 1910. That's where I'm looking to take my entries. But yeah, gold right now is kind of just a little bit choppy. It's a little bit, it looks like it's just kind of consolidating, getting ready for a retracement after such a strong bearish move, which is what you would expect, after such a strong bearish move, taking out some key lows here. So gold, looking for some sells. There's nothing for me here. Obviously, maybe in the lower time frames, you might be able to find something like Blaze did over there. But for me in the 4H, I want to see some more upside. 1900 as well, start looking for my sells. 1910 is also another level that I'll look at, which is just that consolidation up there as well. But yeah, in terms of bias and everything, after we've broken through this structure here, all I'm looking for is a correction, the next, or the first little high, I should say, because the market has been creating continuous higher highs. Now we've broken through structure, I do expect that pattern to be over, and for us to see some lower highs now. So I'm looking for that lower high. 1900 is the first level and 1910 is the second. I'll look for my entries on one of those two areas depending what confirmations I get, and targets, keep it just really, really simple, back down to the prior low over there. So that's kind of the plan for gold, and plan for silver as well. I'm looking at both of them. I'm not planning to trade both, but I'll just see which one gives me the better entry. Silver, looking at pushing to this level here or this level there, and just looking for a push back down to the low. So yeah, silver and gold look pretty good. It's basically broken out this huge consolidation, very, very messy, with a lot of momentum. So now we're just looking for the retest of it to get that continuation. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for gold and silver. I'll move on to Euro AUD as well. Ojo, thanks from Nigeria. Nice, big up, Ojo. Fellow Nigerian. Okay, so I'll look at some of the indices as well. I'll do Euro AUD USD CAD first, and I'll go through some indices as well. The Euro NZD you took yesterday, what about it? Yeah, I'm still in that trade actually. I'll go over that actually because I'm still actually in that trade. But yeah, it's been moving hella messy. We've got a lot of wicks to the upside, and since I've entered, the market's just kind of been moving sideways. Currently in some drawdown, the market's still above the level, but it's not looking good, I have to be honest. We're still getting a lot of wicks here to the upside. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the market's trying to push higher, but it looks like it's failing to do so. So we might see USD push back down for one more move, and that's perfectly fine because this is my second level of interest. I'm looking to buy USD back up again. So I'm also looking at buys down here. If I whip out the old trading view setups, if you want to follow me on trading view, feel free to check me out. I do have links in the description to that as well. But yeah, USD, I was looking at longs coming into this week. So this is the setup I'm looking at. This was the first level of entry and the second level of entry. And the market's kind of having a hard time at that first level. So we could push down, hit that second level, and then have the move up. We're making consistent higher lows here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do expect the market to form a fifth one, come back to these highs, and potentially go into that daily swing target all up there, 1.73. So yeah, still in USD, it's moving very, very choppy, just sideways galore there. So we might come back down one more time and then get the move. If we just explode to the upside, obviously that would be very, very nice as well. But beggars cannot be choosers, unfortunately. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with USD. It's still moving sideways. We had a quite erratic behavior. You can see I got into the candle there, came straight back down, came straight back down, came up, came back down, came back down. So it's just been dancing really at that level. But yeah, if it does come back down, I'll look at entries here, or maybe you can start flying. But I do not like those wicks at all. They give a sign that the market is trying to push higher, but it's failing to do so. But yeah, still in it, and I'll keep you guys updated with it. But it's on the 4H time frame, so it's going to take some time to play out. Okay, so USD CAD, no, Euro AUD, USD CAD, and then we'll go through some indices. Okay, so Euro AUD, okay, so this one is it's still kind of giving me that head and shoulder vibe. So if that neckline can break, I do think there's a lot of downside for this one. But as we can see here, we've clearly got the left shoulder over here, the head, and the right. This is the neckline. This is the support level. If that support level can break, we could be seeing a lot of downside for Euro UD and a push maybe back down to these lows here as well. At the moment, price is still quite choppy. It's coming into some support here and it's having a little bit of a hard time breaking through. So I do think we might see maybe a head and shoulder pattern within a head and shoulder pattern. Maybe something like this, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then maybe a move lower. Because we're starting to get a lot of wicks here at this level of support. As we can see, it definitely is a level that the market, has had a lot of trouble at 1.539. So I think for Euro UD, your best bet is just kind of staying patient with this. I'm not really seeing a high probable trade right now. I wouldn't really want to short that right shoulder anyway. It's just not really high probability based on how the market is moving. If we can snap through this neckline and as you start seeing a bit of a bearish trend underneath, then yeah, these shorts would be very, very nice indeed. I would just be expecting price to continue down, eventually back down to these lows here. So I do really like the shorts underneath 1.528. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any high probability moves here. Sure, at support, you can buy that if you want. Sells up there, they do make some sense. But trading is not necessarily about finding trades. It's about finding high quality trades. And I'm not really seeing high quality trades right now on UAD. I did miss this trade here, which would have been very high quality. Had some really nice confluence here, trying to catch that right shoulder there. We had that trend line test there. We also had the market coming to a very key level of resistance. And we also had the 0.786 fib retracement level. As you can see, we had a lovely spike into that. So that would have been a very nice entry candle there on the hourly. But unfortunately, I did miss this one, which would be a very, very nice trade indeed. But yeah, not going to catch them all. So yeah, Euro AUD, it's at support resistance. It's kind of in a big consolidation. So my biggest advice, probably not what you want to hear, but I'd say just leave it alone and wait to see if we can break through this level, because the shorts underneath it, if you can really form a bearish trend, I do think will be very worthwhile. Anything in here is kind of range play, which is not always the best unless you have a strategy based around that. So yeah, that's Euro AUD from my perspective. I'm moving to USD CAD and we'll go through some indices there too. Okay, so USD CAD, what's going on with USD CAD? Let me just, a little bit messy over there. So yeah, USD CAD is still kind of in this corrective bearish behavior. So I'm still bearish, as long as the market's making lower lows and lower highs, I'm always going to be looking at shorting markets. And if it's making higher highs and higher lows, I'll be looking at longing markets. And right now the market is still bearish, so I do favor shorts, but it's very, very corrective, and I don't really like corrective structures. When I'm seeing momentum, that's what I want to see. I want to see momentum within the structure. Clean moves to the downside, short pullbacks, clean moves like that. These are the best, trading structures for me personally to trade. This here, it's not bad because we still do have a bearish trend on our midst, but a little bit more choppy and a little bit more difficult to navigate. But sells around this point here do look okay. And obviously, logically, you probably look at a pushback down to the prior low. However, I do favor the reversal. I do favor the reversal for USD CAD because we're having such a hard time heading lower. We had this huge impulsive move here, and since then the market's been very, very corrective. So I do favor a bigger move to the upside. So I'm actually waiting for USD CAD reversal. I'm not really too interested in the sells anymore. If you can start snapping through this structure here, creating some new highs, I'll be looking for the pullback to follow that move to the upside and back to the resistance up there at 1.36, because we are coming into this kind of bullish trend here, which would be making consistent higher lows ever since May 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 there as well. We'll be making consistent higher lows, so I do think we can probably see another push higher there too, and we are coming into this trend line there as well. The chart is looking pretty messy. So yeah, I'm personally waiting for a reversal for USD CAD, but at the moment the bears are still in control, so we'll have to be patient. So yeah, there might be some short-term sells here, but personally for me, I'm waiting for the breaker structure and I'll look to follow that long. with targets around these areas up there. So yeah, I hope that made sense there for USD CAD. I'll go through some indices now. Okay, so so we'll start with US 30. So US 30 we looked at first today, and I said this one's very, very messy. You know, I do prefer the other indices. US 100, US 500 look a lot better to trade. US 30 is kind of doing a sideways dance, and it's kind of squeezing in this wedge pattern, which is not really a pattern that I look to trade. It's not really in my trading. I normally wait for these patterns to break out and then try and follow the momentum whichever way they go, which is just a much easier trade to take than trying to navigate within here. But yeah, at the moment we're still struggling to break through this high. You can still see the market is respecting this area here. You know, first, oh, I did that twice. There we go. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So the market's having a lot of trouble in here. As we can see, clean area of resistance, multiple wick rejections in this level there too. So naturally, coming to this level, you want to be looking for some shorts and see a move to the downside. How far will it go? I'm not too sure. You know, we've got a level here the market could come into and start acting bullish. It could maybe move into the support level, or maybe you could drop all the way down here. You know, it's a little bit difficult to navigate because, like I said, there's no kind of trend I'm following here. It's just price just squeezing and consolidating. So the best way to trade these type of structures is be a little bit more aggressive with your TPs and your partials, because any one of these levels can be the level to send price back up again. You know, you could be looking to target down here, but you may only get this move here and the market goes bullish. So this is definitely a little place to take some partials, maybe a stop loss to break even. And I do favor the buys down here. The buys down here look pretty good there too. Key support, key resistance, support. I do favor 33,400 there as well. I do think we can get a nice little bounce at that level. And yeah, just basically just continue that kind of wedge move here back to the resistance, and then we'll see what happens there. But yeah, the breakout is what I want to see. If you go to some other indices, you can see US 500's obviously picked a direction here. US 100 as well, clear momentum. So these are a lot more easy to trade. I did say yesterday this would be a nice little level to trade from. It didn't quite get there. We were consolidating in this area yesterday, and I said if you can break to the downside outside this consolidation, because there will be some stops, you know, underneath this consolidation. So I said if you can come into this level here, retest that area, that'll be a nice little place to go long. And obviously had some nice confidence there too. But the market just broke to the upside off the back of the news, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, as around the news, you can see it's just wicking up and down there. So yeah, with US 500, you would expect price to make its way back to highs, 41.93. Potentially, we could be working our way up to some of these areas up here. That's our last major swing high at 42.50. So we could be working our way up there. But for now, looking at longs is your best bet for S&P and US 100, which we'll take a look in a second. So you might get a nice little cheeky retest of the range here, and then buy there to the upside in the lower time frames. Probably want to drop to maybe the hourly 30-minute to maximize that risk to reward. But yeah, all I'm looking at for S&P is just more upside. Looking for good places to buy the market and see if you can push back to highs, maybe that daily level up there. And US 100 is doing something similar there too, as we can see with these higher lows. I did say yesterday this would be a nice little level to come into. We were consolidating. I said it would be nice if we spike to the downside first, test that area, and then march. But price is just broken through that. So right now we might just get a retest of the range and then to get the continuation. Either which way, we're looking at a push back to highs. And again, maybe back to that high up there, 13,400. So yeah, that's kind of my verdict on indices. Just looking at more upside there. It's still incredibly bullish, so just looking at price going higher basically. Okay, so where are we? Oil, we'll take a look. That's a nice one, Rav. Guess you're trading the FTSE from now on. That's funny. Oil, we'll take a look. Thanks from Nigeria. Also, nice. Big up to my Nigerians. And is there any Zambians on the stream as well? I remember there was one. I'm not too sure where he is, but there is. That'd be cool. Bahram, what is up at H4 pound NZD? What are your thoughts? Okay, we'll take a look at pound NZD 2. What's up, King C? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good, King C. Welcome, welcome. XAG USD going up or down? Well, I'm looking at sells, Scooby Doo. I'm looking at sells for silver. I'm looking at retracement, so I'm hoping actually silver can go up first and then look to sell it down later on. But 23 is where I'm looking at sells for silver. So this is where I'm going to be, well, 23 and also 23.4. So these are the kind of two levels I'm looking at, which kind of lines up with this level there on the left. So I'm just waiting for retracement up there. I would favor some upside because I do expect to see some pullbacks here for silver. 22.3, I do think we can see some pullbacks here. But yeah, there's no bias for me to get into. It's just, you know, a counter trend. It's not really with any confluence really. Might be at some key support, but that's about it for silver. So yeah, the sells look very, very good. I just need to see more upside to actually get the sells in the first place. Then we can short it back down into prior lows, and I've got some levels here on the left too we can look at trading it towards. But yeah, silver for me is definitely a sell if we come up high. Yeah, gold. We'll take a look at gold. V for relax, my guy. We'll take a look at gold. Okay, so I'll go for oil first and pound NZD because you guys did request that first. Okay, so oil had a crazy move to the upside. I was actually expecting oil to start struggling at these prices here, but we had a pretty confident candle close yesterday on the daily chart, but nothing has changed too much. Still sell bias, especially coming into that prior low there, turned resistance, now at 78 to, well, around 78. So yeah, oil, I'm expecting more downside. Higher time frames still tell me short. Looking at the weekly there, you can see the consistent lower highs, daily consistent lower highs too. So nothing really has changed. It is definitely more of a corrective market now. So so I probably wouldn't be too greedy or too aggressive with the shorts in terms of the TPs. You know, this is the prior low, but this is definitely a support level that you want to consider probably exiting the trade and walking away from. Because if we start rejecting there again, we could actually be looking at reversals. But yeah, oil coming into this level looks like a good short to me. Looks like a really good short there. It's a nice hourly candlestick pattern there. Probably have a nice little stop loss above that level with a little bit of room, because it is a strong level there. And then I would expect to see another continuation back to the downside. We've had consistent lower highs, and all we're looking for is another push back down again. So yeah, oil for me, shorts at 78 do look pretty good. This, for me, I'd still deem it as a pullback, as it broken through any significant structure. It is pretty impulsive, but that's about it. There's nothing more to it. So yeah, oil shorts look good. If that level doesn't hold, then I would also consider this low here as well. This kind of gave us our last up move before we actually started that bearish trend. So 79.67 is also a good level to look to short from. But yeah, these two areas could give us a really nice swing back down. And these look like good obvious targets to take your trades at. Maybe even this wick here could be something to take some partials at too. But obviously that will be completely up to you how you guys want to manage your trade. But in terms of entries and looking for the entries, 78 and also 79.64 look like really good places to start looking for some trades. But yeah, in terms of direction, everything still definitely shorts for oil for now. Pound NZD, I'll get to that one next. Now I'll go through gold as well. Euro NZD, yeah, I'm still in Euro NZD. That one is still moving sideways. I'm still going to look to see what happens with this one. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. But yeah, it's going sideways. It's still kind of just dancing around that same level. So it needs to pick a direction. If it does come back down and hit stop loss, I do have that second level where I'll look for some more entries to get back involved. at that kind of level, which has a bit more confidence actually. So that the longs down there actually are better longs anyway. But yeah, still in that trade and still just kind of sitting in that sideways funky price action there. So we'll see how that one gets on. If it does come back down, we'll look for some more entries down there. If not, that's my first TP to take some partials and start managing the trade, which is clearly back at that price swing high. And then we'll see what happens from that. But yeah, USD is not moving too well. Might have to look to enter back down again, up at these prices, down at these prices there. But I'll keep you guys updated. It's on the 4H time frame, so it's going to take some time to play out. So we'll have to sit patient and just let the market do its thing. There's nothing for me to do here. The market's going to do the heavy lifting now. Okay, so on to pound NZD. So yeah, pound NZD seeing some upside. So yeah, pound NZD has been consistently placing these wicks here to the downside. So for me, I'm looking for price to push bullish here for pound NZD. It's had so many attempts to try and break through the support, but you can see how many times it's come into this level. A lot of wick rejections. I do expect pound NZD to be heading north pretty soon. It's got to break out of its channel first, so it's got some work to do for pound NZD. If I zoom out and look at this here, the trend line. If I zoom out and look at this here, you can see we are in a very kind of corrective bearish trend line. Bearish channel here. So I do expect us to break to the upside, but we've got to break through that resistance first. And if you can break through this barrier here, I'll actually be looking at longs to the upside and taking some trades back into that resistance there, maybe even further as well. We've got this key level which price never got retested. This key support 1, 2, 3 up at 1.95665. I do think we could probably eventually make our way back there. I did post some analysis coming into the week for this one on the old trading view profile and also in Telegram too. But pound NZD, looking at some longs over here. So I was looking for the break and retest of that. We actually rejected that one more time, but hopefully now we can have another attempt breaking that level. And if it does, I'll look for the break and retest. I'm looking at longs back into 1.93743, which is that high, and like I said, level up there at 1.96 there too. So that's what pound NZD. I'm not really interested in the shorts anymore for it. I know we're still in that corrective bearish trend, but the shorts I don't deem to be any high probability anymore. The market's very corrective, and it's tried to head bearish multiple times now, but momentum keeps failing. So I'm kind of just waiting for price to snap bullish now, and then I'll be looking at the longs. But I probably wouldn't look to enter unless I can get USD to break even, because USD and pound NZD are very similar markets. USD, as you can see, still in that bullish trend. I'm looking at buys for that one. Pound NZD, I'm looking at buys too. I'm already in the USD trade. The only thing that's different is obviously euro and pound, and euros, coming back down now. But I do expect euro to push bullish soon. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook in pound NZD, looking at buys above 1.9174 and looking at buys back up into that high. But we'll need some doing though, because we do need to break through the trend line and through that resistance. So I need some impulsive price action to break through and then get the longs. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so I'll look at gold next for FIFA Sport, who's looking pretty eager for some gold. Can you help with pound USD? I'm looking for sales. Okay, LeBone will take a look. No problem. Zar, okay, Miko for analysis, and may God bless you more and more. No problem, you too as well. South Africa, nice, big up. South Africa, beautiful country. Elmi, is it possible that USGPY can go down to 128,760 to fill the imbalance? Okay, we'll take a look. Moch, thank you for mentioning that, Rab D. Yeah, Moch was about to step in and cause havoc there if the spamming didn't stop. Gold, yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Bransom, what? No, which? I don't know why I said what. Which trading platform are you using? This is TradingView. I'm using TradingView at the moment. Which trading platform are you using for the customization? Yeah, this is TradingView. This is TradingView. Okay, so I'll go through gold. So yeah, gold, we're looking at sales. Gone through gold a couple times now and nothing's changed. We're looking at sales for gold. So let me just tidy up the chart a little bit. So yeah, we're looking at sales for gold back down to basically where it's coming from. We've had a really nice break of structure here. So we've obviously had the bullish trend on the left here, lovely higher highs and higher lows. And then the market suddenly broke through structure off the back of NFP. Now we're looking for a correction, retracement for the next, or I should say the first lower high. Now we're looking at continuations for the market to go lower. So in simple, we're just looking at retracement back to one of these two levels to trade, to short from. 1900, 1910 is what I'm looking at for those shorts, and targets, play it nice and simple back down to where we came from into that low. We could go further. There's some lows here you can look to aim for as well. That low there. This area here too. These are all good areas to aim for. Obviously, the further you start aiming, the less likely price is actually going to get there. But if we are going to have that reversal, you would expect price to probably start tapping into those areas. But obviously, this is definitely the most probable and probably where I'll just place my trade, take the TP and then move on to the next trade. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for gold. So anything in here, I'm not really worried about. This is kind of very corrective. Like I said, maybe there might be some entries on the lower time frames, but I'm not deeming anything there, worthwhile for myself anyway. So I'm just waiting for gold to push into 1900, 1911, and then I'll start looking for my shorts. So hopefully that could maybe happen Thursday, Friday, and maybe next week we get the sell off. Okay, so I'll take a look at pound USD. The bone is looking at some sells. I'm personally looking at 1.22 for pound USD. USJPY I'll take a look at next as well. Traders Kingdom, what is up? EuroCHF analysis. Okay, we'll take a look. Rob, what do you think about natural gas? Okay, we'll have a look as well. Then you go for pound USD first. So yeah, pound USD, like I said, 1.22 is where I'm looking at some sells. So basically that level there on the retest of this support. Probably see it better on the hourly. That support level there gave us a really nice up move. I think this is NFP coming in. Yeah, so NFP last week. Broke through that level, no retest. Looking at a retest of that level before the sell. So yeah, pound USD for me looks like a really good place to sell at 1.22. I'm liking the structure. We failed to create those higher highs there. So we've also got the high there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts at trying to create some new highs. If the market was going to go bullish, you expect at least one of those attempts to actually break through the level and see the trend continue, but we kept failing. Then obviously we had the pound interest rates, which broke out that consolidation, which broke out this low. Then we had the NFP, which really sent price down. So all we're looking to do this week pretty much with pound is wait for the correction and look to follow that momentum to the downside. Nothing too crazy here. And obviously targets back down at this low here. It's pretty much what we're looking to do with pound USD. We've got this lovely double top price action. Got 1 and 2 there. So we'll naturally expect price to head back down to the neckline, which is this level. Then if you can break through the neckline, we could probably go a lot further. Like I said, higher time frames. If I go particularly to the quarterly time frame, so 3 months, you can see the market is respecting this support level here as resistance. Lovely support. And the market starting to struggle there at 1.22 as resistance. So we could be seeing a huge break and retest here, and the market starts selling off. So we can't forget what's happened over the past year. Huge momentum here. The market is still pretty bearish and still struggling at a very key level. So this higher time frame, double top there could actually be the start of a huge bearish move. So as of right now for pound, we're looking at sales at 1.22, and I do have 1.23 mapped out as well. So if we do break past that, I'll look at 1.23. But yeah, 1.22 looks to be doing a pretty good job at the moment. Well, price is not even there yet. but we'll look for confirmations there, and then we'll look to take our trades from that level. So hopefully that's clarified things there for pound. Okay, so I'll move on to Euroseat Chef, and I'll take a look at natural gas as well. Mosin, Euro USD, we'll take a look too, no problemo. So Euroseat Chef, this one I was saying we could probably see some short-term buys yesterday. However, those buys didn't really happen. The market just broke straight through the level. We had a lovely confluence coming into this area with this low here, lining up those lows. So 1, 2, 3, looking at a test of this level. But I did say yesterday the market is coming to level very, very correctively, which is not, pullbacks, you want them to be corrective, but not too corrective. And there's a nice little balance to it. And this here is way too corrective. And what I mean by that is that there are multiple levels of support resistance where sellers could step out and take price against us. So, buys look good here upon some confirmation, of course, but this broken support level here will be term resistance. So we could probably expect that to happen, and maybe even this to happen as well. So immediately getting to trade here, you've got an obstacle in your way. If you can break through that, we've got this low here in our way as well. If we can break through that, there's a bit more distance coming into this level where the price could sell off. So, when you are getting to your trades, always think about the opposing opponent, if you will. The opposing person taking a different stance, the sellers versus the buyers versus the sellers. If I do buy this, where could sellers potentially push price against me? There's multiple levels that are not too far away. So that's why, trading against that kind of area where there's a path of not so much clarity. And what I mean by that is, typically the market moves in the path of least resistance. There's definitely some resistance in our way there. So, the shorts, the longs look good there, but I wasn't too sure how far they were going to go. And obviously the price just broke straight through the level. So now if Euroseat Chef breaking through that, we can probably see a pullback sooner or later. We've taken out these lows here. We've had, quite aggressive move to the downside, approaching a lot of noise around here. So we might see Euroseat Chef starting to pull back now and maybe give a nice little sell-off again, retest that kind of area. Kind of got some higher, some lower highs developing there as well. Might become a little bit higher and retest this level here too. So yeah, I do think there could be some nice shorts for Euroseat Chef, but you do want to kind of wait for a pullback for this one. 0.99400 is a good area for that pullback, which is this level here, or even that level could be of some nice confluence there too. But Euroseat Chef, I do favor more downside. After snapping through that neckline there. Not neckline, trend line. I would favor some more downside, and 0.994 looks to be of nice confluence in this area. So yeah, if you can get a nice little pullback, I would favor more downside. Obviously, high time frame for Euroseat Chef is still pretty bearish as well. So we could be seeing a continuation of that trend too, as we can see here. So I think sales are looking pretty good on a pullback. You just need to be patient for that to happen. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Traders Kingdom. Natural gas, we'll take a look as well. Euro USD, pound AUD as well, we'll take a look. So natural gas. Yeah, so this one hasn't really seen too much. We've seen a little bit of life come back into the market since I last spoke about it. We were trading around here. We have seen a little bit of life come into the market. Nothing too crazy. The market is still pretty bearish. And as we can see, if we zoom out, 4H daily, we're still absolutely plummeting here to the downside. So I do expect to see not necessarily a reversal, but just a pullback, a bigger pullback. Because if you look at the market, when's the last time we had such a crazy down move? As I scour through the market, there isn't really a move similar to that without, substantial pullbacks. Even this move here, you can see we actually had some pullbacks here. Even this move gave us some pullbacks as we got lower. This move had a big move down. That's probably a similar move there. So yeah, it's been a long time since the market's had such an aggressive fall without, any substantial pullback. So I do think natural gas is coming up to some areas where we can actually start to find some support and see some upside. Particularly this kind of area here, bunch of support there, 2.366. So with natural gas, I'll only be looking for buys for this one, but it's still a little bit too early. We don't want to be the first one into the trade. Trying to call trades like this is definitely more, difficult. You have to be a little bit more careful. But buys do look good. If you can start breaking through some structure and see a nice impulsive move, nice healthy correction, then we can start looking to buy that up on the next higher low. I always say if you're looking to trade counter trend, always look at the third higher low or the third lower high. Let people take the more aggressive trades on the first and the second. The third has a much better probability. Thank you so much, TikTok Super, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the channel, please be sure to subscribe. If you are enjoying the channel, finding it useful, entertaining, whatever, just something positive, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It does help out, obviously, and also hit the like button as well. It does help out the stream if you are obviously liking the stream, and hit the bell so you don't miss out any uploads in the future. And thank you to everyone who has liked the video so far too. But yeah, so natural gas, looking at reversal here, is coming to some nice areas. The market is definitely overextended, so we do expect to see at least a pullback. Not even asking for a reversal, just a pullback. But I would recommend looking at that third high low forming. So first one's always the most risky. A lot of people will be buying these lows here and just be providing liquidity for the market to keep going lower. These are definitely trades that you want to stay away from. Not that they never work, they will eventually work. Sometimes people will catch the lucky move up, but you didn't know how many losses they had to take to get that move. And also the psychology needed as well. If you take 3, 4, 5 losses like this, you'd probably be scared of getting burnt again, so you might not take the next trade, and the next trade could actually be the one that actually flies. So it's a difficult kind of strategy and a process to go through. So that's why I say always wait for the third high low, which gives you less risk and is more high probable, and just a better trade altogether, really. So once we start creating some nice impulses, corrections, impulses, look to get on the next higher low, which hasn't really developed yet. So there's no kind of particular level I'm looking for entries. But in terms of direction, I'll be waiting for a bigger move to the upside, possibly returning back to some of these structures up here, 3.5, maybe some of these lower highs there too. So yeah, natural gas, I do see some more upside, but we've got to be patient. The market's still very bearish. So I hope that made sense from natural gas. Your USD pound AD, we'll take a look. Rob, no problem, happy to help. Elmi, it possible that USD, oh yeah, I forgot to take a look at USD. Wow, I'll take a look now. Hey Ross, welcome to the stream. I'm doing good, my friend. Hope you are good as well. Your USD is moving rubbish right now. A lot of sideways price action ever since I entered the trade. Bearish candle, doji, bullish candle, doji, bearish candle. So a lot of sideways price action, but they're always not going to be home runs all the time. But if it does come back down and stop me out, I will be looking at another entry slightly further down at 1.688. So not all is lost there with USD. So yeah, still looking at more upside. I'm pretty confident with the setup. Got a lot of structure in our favor. It might want to come back down one more time, which is perfectly fine. It's all about risk to reward anyway. If it does stop me out and the second trade plays out, we make back our loss and plus a lot more. If it does play out, obviously happy days as well. Or there's a possibility we get stopped out twice, but again, it's just 2 losses anyway. So yeah, USD, I'm in along there. There's a few other setups I'm looking at. So before I do end the stream, I've got about 20 minutes left. Before I do end the stream, I'll go through a bunch of pairs that I'm looking at for the rest of the week as well. But yeah, we'll take a look at USJPY first, because Elmi did request that a while ago. I completely forgot to take a look. So 128 something, 128,760. That was it. Okay, so where's 128,760? 128,760. 128,760. Okay, it's all the way down here. It's about here-ish. Okay, let me zoom out. Yeah, we could go back down there. if I'm looking at the higher lows and proportion of the market, we've got a higher low there, another higher low. Could see another higher low here. It doesn't. It kind of does play into what the market is doing, which is kind of a very steadily kind of reversal. We've obviously got some obstacles here, which the market will have to break through first. But when people ask, can the market go here? Can the market go here? 100% the market can go there. Obviously, our job as traders is not necessarily to predict where the market's going to go, but just be able to find high probability opportunities. And if you deem that to be high probable based on your strategy, I can see there's some nice confluence there of the trend line and the fib, and obviously got that level running through there in the market as well. So there is some good confidence coming back down to some of these areas here. But yeah, it's up to the market if it wants to get there or not. There's obviously a nice level here for a lot of confluence, which we could hold and see a push to the upside there as well. So 130, 300 is also an important level. If that doesn't break, then sure thing, yeah, we could go back to 128, 760 and get a reaction down there. So that move there is up to the market. In terms of probability and areas of interest, I do say that level is not bad as well. I do prefer this level where price is trading over that level, but if it doesn't hold, then that probably is the next level of confluence based on that level and the fact that we are making those higher lows there as well with that trend line. So yeah, the market could get there, but we'll have to see if it can break through this level first. If it does, then that would be the next kind of area of value I would expect the market to probably head towards. Elmi, is that where you're looking at placing your trades to go along? Or is that a target you have for a trade you're currently in or something? Wanted to ask, have you thought to manage your position if it goes against you? I mean something like to close half and add back when it turns in your favor. I have thought about that in the past, but not really. It's too much hustle in my opinion. I think if you want to use something like that effectively, you have to really understand your data and your live performance, like not even back testing, but just from live results. Because if you want to do something like that where you close half and add back in, then you have to know the probabilities of how often that will work out. Because it's not so much, okay, I feel like this trade might work out, so if it does go a little bit against me, I'll get back in. It has to be based on probability. So if you can understand based on data that, okay, if I can do this and close something, trade half when it goes against me and add some more when it goes back in my favor, if I can see evidently from my data that, okay, this is actually a profitable, strategy, actually increasing my profit overall, then yeah, sure, 100% go for it. I haven't really looked at that for my personal trading. It's a bit too much hustle. I like trading the higher time frames, one, because it gives me a lot of free time to actually trade. My trade's kind of running in the background, and I can have the flexibility to do different things as well. So if I keep monitoring my trade, every couple of hours to see if it is in drawdown halfway, and I can add the trade back when it goes back in my favor. Yeah, it's not something that I'm looking towards to doing right now. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but yeah, I'm not really looking at that right now. So again, if you're trading, if you deem that to be worthwhile based on what you've seen as your results, because you need something to back it up. Sure, you can do it if you want to, but you need to actually see if it's profitable. But for me, it's a little bit too much hustle. I'd rather just take the full loss, move on to the next trade, and maybe see if price reverses back in my favor. But yeah, personally, I've never really done something like that. Trade what you see, not what you want to happen. What's up, Miko? Hey, what's up? Did a nice little quote to start off the introduction. Rohan, this is exactly what I do. I close about 60% in 60% drawdown, and combine with high risk trades, I take 10%. It helps mitigate losses. Okay, that would make sense then. Obviously, because you'd rather not take the 10% loss than if you can close some against it. So yeah, you can do it if you want. Again, do your research on your strategy, because some strategy will work a lot better with it. But for me, I'm just keeping it simple, and I just take the loss. Obviously, I'm only risking 1%, so it's not the end of the world if I do take a loss. But yeah, certainly for something like 10%, it might actually be a good shout actually, because then you can still get your winners with high percentage, obviously. But yeah, you want to avoid as many 10% losses as you can, because technically you can only have 10 before the count is gone. Okay, so Euro USD, Pound AUD. I'll take a look. Completely lost Euro USD. There we are. Okay, so Euro USD, like I said, for this one, it's at a really nice level where we can see a bounce to the upside here at 1.07. So with Euro USD coming into the week, we said we had a good possibility the market can bounce here, and possible pullbacks into this level here, broken support zone resistance, where we could get a retest before maybe a sell-off for Euro USD. But for now, we're still favoring buys down here. This is still, bullish territory. You wouldn't want to be selling the market here. The market is quite overextended here, and it is coming into some areas where buyers will be sitting. So sells into that level don't make too much sense. You rather wait for price to come higher first before selling it. Hence why we pointed out this level here. So yeah, with Euro USD down here, I do favor buys. Thank you so much, Kieran, for subscribing. So I do favor buys down here at 1.07 and sells up there at 1.08. So that's basically what I'm looking at Euro USD. I'm not really too focused on the pair. There's other pairs that look a little bit better for me. I can map out a little bit more confluence with them, and I'll go through my watch list in a second once I go through a couple more pairs. But yeah, Euro USD buys down here look good, and the sells look good as well. We've obviously broken through this structure there, so we could see that reaction there and then move to the downside. But yeah, Euro USD would be a nice little entry there yesterday. If you want to get back in, you probably want to see another down move. Nice little double bottom there, and then look to get back in on that second move there. Then obviously, target back to that resistance will make a lot of sense, and looking to take that back down again. So that's kind of my analysis for Euro USD, looking at buys down there and then shorts up there. But we haven't broken any significant structure for Euro USD, so the sells are still a little bit tad risky. We still do have this bullish trend here. This sell here is still counter trend technically, so it's a little bit more risky. The buys do make a lot of sense though. Okay, Pound AUD. Let's go Pound AUD. So what's going on with Pound AUD? So Pound AUD still bearish bias, still seeing a lovely bearish structure here, lower lows and lower highs. Market currently right now is struggling to break through that resistance. Obviously broken support zone resistance. We had some really nice lower highs. One there, second one there, third one there. So I'm still looking at a push to 1.72, maybe even 1.7 as well. Let me just use the line tool here. So 1.72, and I'm also looking at 1.7 on the dot, big psychological level. If I go in the daily time frame, you can see we've got this consolidation here, which I feel like if the market does break through this support, it's the next logical support the market's likely to head towards at 1.7. So if we can break through that, 1.7 is next. And right now, we're forming these lower highs. So if you're looking for trades, you probably want to see the market pull back up again and form another lower high, maybe retest that level there, double top, come back down again. We've got these lovely lower highs here. 1, 2, 3, maybe get a fourth one in there, retest that resistance, nice confluence with the daily as well, and then probably see some downside off the back of that. So Pound AUD, sells look good. I wouldn't want to buy this pair until we get a reversal, until we snap through some structure. Then yeah, we can get some buys in the retest, something like that. But right now, this is still sell bias. It's still giving us bearish structure. So back at these highs here look good for some sells at 1.747. Naturally speaking, push back down to the lows look good as the first target. And then we've got 1.7 there as the second target. But probably makes the most sense just to take the profit there as it comes into that low and then look for another opportunity later on. So yeah, Pound AUD, that's what I'm looking at for this one. More downsides, and hopefully maybe you can eventually come back to 1.7. Unless it breaks through structure, then we'll just look at changing that bias altogether. Okay, so hopefully that has made some sense. ADJPY will take a look too. 50% of my trades that cross 60% of the risk get stopped out. See, that's the type of data that you want to understand. because if you know that, then you can actually work and make that into your favor. But if you don't know that sort of data, and again, not just from back testing either, you want it from your live trades, because live trades, the data you collect from your live trades will be different from back testing, because obviously back testing, there's no real psychological element to it. In live trading, you've got hesitation, you've got fear, you've got greed. All of those will impact your decision making. So your live results will never be the same as your back testing. Sometimes they could be a little bit better, but more than not, they're often a little bit more worse. So yeah, you want to see what you're actually doing in your live performance, and then you can counteract that. But yeah, sure. So it's a way to manage your trades. It's a way to manage your trades. There's a million different ways to manage your trades. But if it's something that does sound interesting to you, that think you can probably better your trading from, then 100% go look into it. But yeah, personally, I don't do it. Hustling is exhausting. True. Got to watch the charts to get the most out. Yeah, again, and that's kind of it's funny because you can watch the charts more to try and make more decisions and act against losses and maximize wins. But the more you get the charts as well, the more prone you are to fatigue in your decision making and making stupid decisions. I find when I'm at the charts more, I'm looking at the charts more and I'm analyzing more and trading more, is normally when I experience more losses. Normally when I'm a bit more organized and I'm a bit more focused and I know the charts I'm trading, I'll know where my next opportunity is, and I'm just off the charts a lot more. Normally my trading is a lot better. When I'm more on the charts, it's actually a lot worse, and normally because it's my decision making. Like normally, I'm at a stage now where most of my errors in trading is just really stupid mistakes that I make, which obviously I will always make mistakes. I'm not going to be perfect, no matter how much I prove, I always will make mistakes. But taking mistakes of getting into a trade and then looking back and you realize that trade didn't even fit my plan. Why did I take that trade? It's because you were a little bit emotional at the time, maybe you just had a loss or just had a win or something like that. So I try to limit the time I'm at the charts, because the more I'm at the charts, the more mistakes I'll eventually make, because my decision making won't stay on point for long. Sooner or later it's going to start declining and I'm going to start making emotional decisions. So you want it to be balanced. You don't want to be at the charts too much, but you also want to be at the charts where you got your opportunities forming, you can manage your trades well, and trade how you want to trade. So there's a fine balance between the two. You don't want to go in either direction. So yeah, Euro USD, I just did that one. Looking at buys down here, sells up there. Hopefully you caught that. I'll take a look at AJY for Gun Media. No problem. Sarah was up have some news coming up. Will that affect dollar yen? Actually, let me go look at the news quickly before the stream ends, because I've actually looked at the news this morning. Okay, so where are we? Wednesday. Okay, all I'm seeing is low impact, medium impact news. So it could have some effect, but I'm not expecting too much. I only focus on high impact news for my trade. So any low impact or medium impact, I kind of disregard. Sure, it might move the market a little bit, but I'm going to be trading as I always trade naturally. I won't be looking to try and avoid anything. High impact, yeah, sure, I'll definitely take note. But low to medium, I'm not really seeing anything there too concerning. Tomorrow we do have some news, so that I'll be more careful of. And Friday we got some pound news as well. So tomorrow and Friday, yeah, I'll take note of that. But today I'm not seeing any high impact. So we might have some reaction to it, but nothing that I would not take a trade from or just start doing things differently. Okay, so let me go through ADJPY quickly. Okay, so I'll go through ADJPY. And I'll go through pound USD as well. Zesty was up. Welcome to the stream. Just in time for the end. So I'll go through pound USD and ADJPY, and then I'll go through my watch list to wrap up the stream. So ADJPY, like I said earlier in the stream, we have snapped through this trend line here. So it looks like the market could be getting ready to go bullish. It's a very corrective one, so there's nothing there that I'm looking at like I might place a trade soon. There's no clarity with that with me. We've had a really lovely impulse. Looks like could be getting the correction for that and seeing another impulse, but there's no particular level or particular area of confidence that really pops out at me. So I have to leave this one alone and just wait for more development. So yeah, with AJPY we could break north, if we do see that continuation, but right now it's in this corrective structure. On the lower time frame, sure, there might be some short-term sells. That would have been a nice little entry coming back into that resistance there, around 6 a.m. Today. Probably see some downside off the back of that, maybe into some support, maybe another swing back down to the lows here, into that low there, but yeah, I'm not really seeing any high probability trades here with ADJPY right now. In terms of direction, I don't really have a clear-cut bias. So, if I don't have a clear-cut bias for a particular pair, I move on to the next one. It needs to be clear-cut before I even start looking for entries and opportunities. So this one, and along with most of the JPY pairs, apart from USD I'll be waiting for more information. And pound USD, which is over here. So yeah, pound USD looking at retracement to 1.22. So yeah, pound bearish bias, looking at more downside, but nothing quite just yet. We're breaking north, but we're not really testing any key area for me. So I just have to be patient and wait for the next opportunity to get involved, which is 1.22 for me and also 1.23, but this is definitely the first level. So I'll be monitoring that level, see what type of price action we get at that level on the hourly time frame as well. Look for my confirmations. And target wise, we've got this low here and obviously this low here too. So that's the plan there for pound USD. And yeah, the pairs I'm looking at, obviously USD, I'll be keeping an eye on this one. If it does stop me out, I'll be looking at some entries down here as well, but I'm currently in that trade. I'm also looking at NZD CAD shorts, a push back up into this level here is what I'm looking at. Some sells, had some really lovely momentum there to the downside, taking out some key structure here. So I'm looking at a pullback, next lower high, and then the continuations, and pretty much just back down to the low here. With NZD CAD, NZD CHF looking at something similar to this one. Came very close to my area yesterday, so I'm hoping we can come back up again, retest that level, and then get the sell-off. We've broken through some key structure, so I'm looking at pullback, next lower high. We've got 1, 2, 3, looking at the fourth one, and the continuation to the downside, probably taking out these lows, maybe coming back into this low here as well. So NZD CHF is looking good. Euro pound, I'm looking at more downside, looking at this level here, so we could be coming to that level soon. So we'll be keeping an eye on Euro pound. In fact, I'm going to put a little alert there, because we are coming into that level pretty soon there. So yeah, Euro pound back down at 0.885 is where my area of interest lies. I'll be monitoring price action there on the hourly time frame, looking for my entries, targets. I may not push all the way up there depending on risk rewards, but for now, that's probably where I'll be looking at. USD CAD, I'm waiting for price to break to the upside. I'm not really interested in the longs anymore, but if we can break through some structure, I'll be keen to follow that momentum back to the upside as well. Silver and gold, waiting for that retracement into these two areas. So that's silver, gold's pretty much doing the exact same thing. I'll just pick one of the two, which I'm looking the better at the time. And pound NZD as well, I'm looking for us to break through that resistance, get the retest of it, and then some buys to the upside. So yeah, those are the pairs I'm mainly looking at. Euro pound's coming pretty close, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. But yeah, a few of the pairs I'm looking at just need some retracement really, so I've got to be patient for that. I'll probably set some more alerts as well, because there's nothing really for me to do other than wait really. So we'll keep an eye. Obviously, I'll let you guys know in my Telegram group if I do get any entries. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. I do really appreciate all of you coming onto the stream. Everyone who has liked the stream, subscribed, thank you so much for joining the family. No problem, Ravdi, happy to always. Moch, thank you so much. Leave a like if you haven't done it right. Yeah, please do, guys, if you haven't done so yet. And if you enjoyed the stream, please be sure to leave a like. It does help out the channel. Also hit the bell too, so don't miss out any streams or uploads in the future. But I will be live again tomorrow as well with Trader Nick and A1 Trading as well. So we've got 2 streams with myself tomorrow. Obviously, usual time on my channel, and then I think 3 p.m. with Trade Nick and A1 Trading. That's all UK time. But yeah, guys, have a good one. I'll post on my Telegram if I do get anything. But besides from that, have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.